What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Red Randomizer Nuzlocke, where my computer decided to give me a notification right as I started recording for some reason, even though the computer has been on for 5 minutes now. Literally could have given me that notification any time in those 5 minutes this computer has been on. I've been preparing things, but no, it waited until I was seconds into recording for me to receive the notification. Thank you, Google. I guess it's not Google's fault. Thank you, Windows. But yeah. If you missed the last episode, you didn't miss a whole lot gameplay-wise. However, we were just doing some grinding, which is what we're going to be doing today. However, last episode I believe my commentary was quite good. So, maybe it's not the most interesting thing to watch, the last episode, but, you could always put it on in the background or something. Enjoy it as like a podcast sort of thing, because I feel like a lot of my videos with this series, at least, can be enjoyed that way. Because really, commentating over Pokemon is quite hard. Like, especially when it gets like, especially in a Nuzlocke, because then it starts to get grindy. And some people will like edit out like all the things that are like repetitive and time consuming, like grinding. They'll edit all that stuff out, or they'll speed it up, or any of that, or something like that. But I really don't want to edit it out, because I kind of want to just like have the satisfaction of saying that I actually did the grinding legitimately. Because I know that other people are like rare candy pilled with Nuzlocks, and I get the idea. It's like it saves time or whatever. But I am a traditionalist. I will grind the good old-fashioned way. And I don't care how long it takes. I find satisfaction in getting my Pokemon to an appropriate level. And I don't want people to think that I'm using rare candies. So, to avoid people from accusing me of using rare candies, I will simply do it all in recording. Like, I will make sure that it is all recorded, all the grinding. Because I take pride in my grinding, and I take pride in how much time I'm putting into it. Because while other people may be like, oh wow, you're spending so much time on this video game, that's stupid. It's like, okay, buddy, it's like, first of all, gamers should get it, and if gamers don't get it, then I'd like to ask you how much time have you spent on Fortnite, you know? Like, you enjoy what you enjoy, that's how video games work, and if I want to grind for hours in Pokemon, and I don't mind doing it, then like, so be it. Maybe you think that's a waste of time, but I think spending 100 hours on Fortnite is a waste of time, because at least I'm working towards something. Obviously, with Fortnite, you're working towards, like, a battle pass or everything. But I could never get it, or everything, but, like, I could never get into Fortnite, personally. Because, first of all, I'm not a big fan of shooting games, and I understand that Fortnite is quite different from your traditional shooting game. And aspects of it seem fun, but I feel like I'm too late into, like, I'm too late into it to actually, like, get enjoyment out of it. Like, I feel like coming into Fortnite now, I would be so confused. I feel like if I started playing the game back in, like, 2018, wouldn't be a problem. But here we are in 2024, and I'm like, I really don't want to try to get into Fortnite. It's just been too long. The game's been out for too long. I've missed so many seasons. Bruh, like, the last Fortnite video I watched was, like, Chapter 2, Season 7, I want to say. I don't know. It was like when they added Zendaya. I don't think that was Chapter 2, Season 7. But, yeah, whenever they added Zendaya, I believe that was, like, one of the last videos I watched, because I watched a video about the Zendaya skin. But, yeah, I just feel like, first of all, I don't like those types of games, because it's just, like, I like to have something to work towards with a video game. That's why Minecraft is, like, gets on my nerves, because, first of all, Minecraft is freaking hard. Like, I feel like not enough people say that. And if you and there are ways to make it really easy. Like, keep inventory. But, like, I don't want to do keep inventory. Keep inventory is for wusses. I said it. And I understand if you want to use keep inventory. You know, it's playstyle. It's like, okay, you don't want a difficult gaming experience, then whatever, so be it. You want to just enjoy yourself. If you enjoy not doing things that are not playing difficult games, if you enjoy dying and having little consequence, then whatever, just turn on keep inventory. I'm not going to tell you how to enjoy your game. However, me personally, I will never put on keep inventory in Minecraft. I see no point to it. I think that there should be at least some kind of reason not to kill yourself. And I know that other people are like, oh yeah, but that's if you don't have keep inventory on, then you can't do that thing where you kill yourself and respawn at your house. That's such a quick way to like get home if you're far away. It's like that just sounds lazy to me. It's like I want to be punished for dying. In a video game. Yeah, other people may not feel that way, but that's just how I am. I like a strict punishment for dying. In a video game, either that or no punishment at all. However, I would prefer a strict punishment. Because, in general, I think that, like, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of games that make it, like, no big deal that you died. Because it just feels so unnatural to die, and then it's like, well, you're right back where you were. Because in real life, you die, and then you're just dead. Like, I don't know, it just seems that, like, it seems like the dying should have a consequence. And games that I don't tend to like it when games don't have, like, a big consequence for dying. And in Minecraft's case, you put on keep inventory, and then there's literally no consequence for dying. I could literally, in Minecraft, jump off a cliff as many times as I want if I turn on keep inventory. There's nothing to discourage me from doing it. Like, I just feel like if you turn on keep inventory, the only thing to discourage you from dying is like, oh, I don't want to die here and then have to go all the way back here. But, thing is, Minecraft is really hard. As I was saying, Minecraft, despite what people say, a lot of people don't touch on this, and I don't feel like I hear it enough. Because there are people who there are a lot of people who play with keep inventory, I feel. Especially like content creators, like people on social media, they play with keep inventory a lot. Because obviously that just makes it like less time consuming. Like you die and you can't get there in time. Like you don't have to get all those items back. Keep inventory is really just like the perfect thing for a content creator, I feel. Because that makes it so they don't have to spend hours and hours trying to get back the stuff that they lost. Like, you die in an episode, fine. Like, it's okay, just go right back to what you were doing. Like, keep inventory allows content creators to, like, not get, diverged, I believe is the right word? It's not the right word, that's not the word I was thinking of, but I think that works. It allows them to not get diverged, like, got a detour. It prevents detours when a death occurs, because if you don't have keep inventory on, then you lose all that stuff, and you have to go and get it back, which could take anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes, and if it takes more than 5 minutes, well then, it'll take even longer to get that stuff back, because you have to recollect it all from scratch. And that is the thing about Minecraft, is that either the punishment is absolutely nothing for dying, or way too severe. Because, okay, realistically, you could just die and lose all your stuff, but it is good that you have at least a chance to recover it, but I fall in lava way too much. Like, I think dying in the nether is, like, the biggest... the nether is terrible, and one of the reasons why the nether is just so difficult to get through is just, like, the fact that you die, in most places, your stuff will burn. Because there's just, like, fire everywhere. And if something knocks you into lava, well then tough luck. Like, literally, I will be bridging across a gap, and then a ghast shoots me, and, well, there go all my items. Like, that is why the nether is unfair. It's moments like that, where it's just like, a ghast comes out of nowhere, shoots a fireball, and then all of a sudden you're drowning in lava and your stuff is all gone, and then you have to redo, like, everything. You have to get all that stuff back, because you sure as heck can't go back into the nether with nothing. Like, you need at least, like, iron armor or some crap. Iron armor, iron tools. But, just, like... Minecraft makes me rage a load, and I've never actually beaten Minecraft legitimately. I've tried a bunch of times, but and I've done a bunch of like play sessions at like friends' houses and stuff, but it sort of always ends with me. It always sort of ends the same way, with me dying in lava, losing all my stuff, and then saying, heck this, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to get all that stuff back. Sometimes I die in lava, get all the stuff back, and then die in lava again. Like, basically, and my luck is really bad, as y'all know. So, finding diamonds is like the hardest crap for me. So, I die in the nether, and then I lose, I die with diamonds, and then I'm like seething. Because it is going to take me so long to get those back. First of all, it takes ages to get to the nether, because I need to get, like, a diamond pickaxe. And I know that, like, you can just do, like, lava bucket, water bucket tricks, and you could, like, make a portal without mining any obsidian. You could just, like, place it down. But, like I said, I am a traditionalist. I'm not one of those people who is like, oh, speedrunning is cheating, but I definitely don't want to do it like the speedrunner way. Like, if I ever speedrun Minecraft, obviously I would do it that way. But I'm not trying to speedrun Minecraft. I'm trying to play it, like, normally, as people did back in the day. And that's not to say that speedrunning isn't normal. It's very normal at this point. Like, a lot of people speedrun Minecraft these days. And, honestly, I think it is quite, like, I don't know about, like, all runs, but I'd imagine it relies quite a bit on luck. I know there's, like, calculations that people can do, and that stuff, like, always is just, like, blows my mind. Because I don't understand how it works in the slightest. Like, obviously I said in the last episode, I watched Small Ant, and I know that Small Ant sometimes it's just like, oh, there's a stronghold right here. Like, he throws a couple ender eyes, and he's like, the stronghold is right here. And then it is. And I'm like, I just don't know how that works. You know, like, I don't understand. Because he's got, like, his chunks open, and then he's like, oh yeah, here's an ender eye went that way, and then he goes, like, so many chunks without throwing a single other one, and then he's like, oh, stronghold is here. It's like, what on earth? It is the most confusing thing to me, how people can just, like, pinpoint where the stronghold is, or, like, pinpoint where diamonds are on, like, a certain chunk. I don't get it, and quite honestly, it just amazes me, like, every single time. I don't know if it's, like, a surefire success thing, but, like, I think it's really interesting how people can find these, like, sort of, I shouldn't say frequencies, patterns in Minecraft generation and sort of abuse them to find things. That is really cool to me. I also like the idea of, like, lighting the portal with the wood, like, using lava and, like, wood instead of flint and steel. I think that's really cool. Yeah, just a lot of Minecraft speedrunning is very cool. But I doubt I would ever be able to speedrun anything. Especially not Minecraft, because bad at video games as a whole, especially Minecraft. But yeah, I've beaten Minecraft with an asterisk, you know? The Ender Dragon took me 6 hours. You heard that right. I spent 6 hours fighting the Ender Dragon. And yes, I played Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch. So, maybe on another device, it wouldn't be such a brutal experience, but this dragon would not leave me alone. Like, I see people play on, like, I see people play Minecraft on YouTube, and the dragon is nowhere near as aggressive. And I think that it might be a Nintendo Switch thing. Like, I don't mean to make excuses for me being bad or anything, but I think it just might be much harder on the Nintendo Switch, because I know in, like, Pocket Edition, or whatever, Bedrock, whatever, in some versions, the Wither is, like, significantly harder. So I'd imagine the same thing applies to the Ender Dragon. But yeah, basically, when I played through Minecraft for the first time, how it worked was this. If I died, I was able to bring back a stack of anything I lost. And I bet y'all can see where this is going. But just in case you can't, allow me to clarify. So, I was in the nether, went to a nether fortress, found 3 diamonds, fell in the lava, and said, well, according to my rule, I can now give myself 64 diamonds. And the same applied in the end, where I just did not have enough blocks, did not have enough enough blocks to get up the pillars, did not have enough arrows to shoot the dragon down, and so I just keep dying and keep giving myself more arrows and more armor, and every time I lost my sword, give it back. And if I fall off the edge and I lose my sword, I'll bring back my sword. If I don't fall off the edge, if I die to the dragon itself and I'm on land, then I'll just get the sword back, and then I'll bring back 64 arrows. You can see how why I'm saying, like, this is a very scuffed victory of Minecraft. Because, and, like, for someone who is so, like, play by the rules, I don't want to turn on keep inventory, that's literally cheating. For someone who is like that, I'm sure y'all are saying to yourselves, Alex, what on earth? You say you want to, like, play by the rules or whatever, and you don't want to make it too easy, but then you give yourself 64 diamonds, and it's like, I wouldn't have to do this if the game wasn't so mean to me. It's like, I worked my butt off 40 hours into the game, and I finally get more diamonds after just, like, literally, I have a diamond pickaxe. That's it. I took out 3 diamonds, was able to make a diamond pickaxe, then I used that to get to the nether. And then I didn't find any more diamonds, in hours and hours of mining. 40 hours into the game, and I've only found 3 diamonds ever. Used them to craft a diamond pickaxe. And I finally find diamonds in the nether, only to die minutes later in the lava. So what do you think I'm gonna do? It's like, I gotta get diamond armor at some point, surely. And yeah, I do feel bad about it, in a sense, but it's like, I guess it is the grinding thing, isn't it? It's just like, well, I could sit here and grind up my Pokemon, or I could give them XP, rare candies. Not XP candies, that's a Sword and Shield thing, that's a later gen thing. But I could just sit here and get my Pokemon rare candies. I could do grinding for hours, or I could just sit here and get my Pokemon rare candies. It's like, I guess it's just that. It's that sort of thing. Where I'm like, well, I could just sit here for hours and mine for diamonds. But what if I just gave myself 64 diamonds, so that I could have the diamond armor right now? It's like, I got 3. So that is enough for me to be like, okay, well, I got diamonds. At least now I know I can do it. So let me just pretend like I got a whole lot more. And, like, yeah, that is, like, I feel like it would have been fair if I could bring back, like, 1 item. I think that to the point I was doing it, where I'm just like, oh, I got 3 diamonds, I die, now I have 64. I think that is, like, a little much. And it led to a lot of my chests having stacks of things, which I think is just, like, really funny, but also really, like, shameful in my opinion, that I just started, like, dying to duplicate items. I'm like, oh, I don't have enough blaze rods, for potion making. Let me just die real quick, and now I have 64 instead of 18. Like, it's very interesting. I would definitely say that, like, I'm not happy with that victory, you know, like, someday, on a different device, a device that is not the Nintendo Switch, because I think that the Nintendo Switch is very much to blame for the experience being so difficult. I think that if I played Minecraft on a different device, I would have more luck, and I wouldn't have more luck, but, like, I would just, like, I wouldn't die in as many stupid ways, because in the Nintendo Switch version, it's like, if y'all have played Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch, frankly, if y'all have played anything on the Nintendo Switch that is, like, demanding in the slightest, then y'all know how it is. And I bet y'all can only imagine the stupid ways I've died, and, like, how that might have made me angry, how that might have irked me. Because, I tell you, I have never, in my years and years and years of watching people play Minecraft on YouTube, seeing a dragon as aggressive as this one. Like, I'm like, this game is broken. Like, it won't leave me alone. Literally, I will try to pile up, and then it will hit me. It will hit me down, and then I will get one block up, and then I'll get like 3 blocks up, trying to pillar up again, and then it'll hit me down again. It's like, what the heck is going on? It rams into me, knocks me down, rams into me again, knocks me down, shoots a fireball into me, knocks me down, which knocks me down, rams into me again, knocks me down. It's like, it won't leave me alone. I can't get up a single pillar unless I'm going around, like, unless I'm, like, playing tricks with this thing. And I'm literally dying, like, several times trying to get up one pillar. It was obnoxious. And, like, yeah, if I just bought more arrows, I would have been, like, I would have been able to just shoot them, which would have been, obviously, the much easier way, instead of piling up. But, like, I feel like piling up is what a lot of people default to. Especially with, like, the caged ones, you kind of have to do that, unless your aim is god tier. But, like, I feel like a lot of people share the same opinion as me, where they don't want to they'd rather just pile up, because getting arrows is hard, and getting infinity on your bow is hard. So, like, why would you try to shoot the crystals? Like, save your arrow, in my opinion, save your arrows for the dragon, because you're not going to have a lot of them unless you're grinding your ass off. And I think that... What was I going to say? Yeah, because the thing about arrows in Minecraft is that you either get them by killing skeletons, which, unless you have, like, which is, like, you never know. You never know how long or short of a time that might take, because the thing is, first of all, not 100% chance to drop an arrow from a skeleton. And second, tons of things spawn during the night. And so, those things spawning might interfere with skeleton spawning. Like, skeleton spawning is in a given area is not a sure thing. Skeleton dropping arrows in a given area is not a sure thing. So killing skeletons for arrows is kind of like a very meh way of accumulating arrows. It's just not very fast. Like, in my experience, just going out at night and killing skeletons will get me like 4 arrows per night. And that's just like way too slow for my liking. And then you have like the other way of getting arrows, which is to craft them. Which, don't get me wrong, definitely takes up less time if you have the ingredients. And here's where it gets time-consuming, because the time-consuming part isn't crafting the arrow itself. The time-consuming part of crafting an arrow is collecting the ingredients. The time-consuming part of obtaining an arrow by crafting is collecting the ingredients for it, because the stick obviously is not a big deal. You could get sticks anywhere. You could chop down a tree, get some wood, and then boom, bada bing, bada boom, you got sticks. It's like, whatever, trees are everywhere. The difficult part is... The other 2 ingredients, however, are slightly more difficult, because you need a feather and flint. So, first of all, chickens, in my opinion, like, I don't know about other people's experiences, and I don't know if it's like a biome-reliant thing. Like, I don't know if chickens spawn more often in different biomes, but I had a really hard time, at least in my playthrough, accumulating chickens. And, like, I think that out of all the, like, farm animals that you can get in Minecraft, like pigs, sheep, cows, they are the rarest. And maybe that is just a me problem, but I think, like, even just watching Minecraft playthroughs on YouTube, I see it a little bit. Like, I feel like people make cow farms and pig farms all the time. Cow farms and pig farms and sheep farms all the time. But, like, no one makes a chicken farm. And in general, like, no one makes a chicken farm. Unless you need, like, eggs. Unless you like cake or whatever. Unless you're going with that for your food source. In which case, why would you? It's not portable. I mean, it is kind of portable, but, like, once you place it down, it's no longer portable. Like, you get 1 bite of cake. And then you have to, like, leave it. Either leave it or finish the whole thing in 1 sitting. And that's just, like, not a very reliable way of obtaining food. And I get that, like, that was Stampy Longnose's whole branding. But, like, legitimate, like, even he must have realized how absolutely, like, convoluted that whole thing was, of just, like, eating basically only cake in most series. And that is why he sort of, like, went away from the cake in most series, because he had to, like, it's like, first of all, cake is hard to make. Second, it's not portable. You put it down, you eat one slice, you get one hunger bar, and then you probably leave it, because you need to go someplace else. Like, why not just carry, like, 30 steak with you instead? That'll keep you going for ages. A single piece of steak gets you, like, 4 hunger thingies. 4, like, bits of the hunger bar. So, like, why would you do cake? Especially when, like, all you have to do to get steak is just, like, kill a cow and cook it. Cake is just, like, this whole convoluted thing of, like, egg, wheat, sugar, milk. It's like, that is not only just, like, a lot of different ingredients, but also a lot of different ingredients that aren't terribly easy to get. Like, obviously, if you do have a cow farm, then the milk shouldn't be a problem. But, like, wheat takes time to grow unless you have bone meal, and that brings us back to skeletons, which is not, like, like I said, not a certain thing. However, I will say, you can more easily get bone meal from skeletons than you can get arrows from skeletons. Because skeletons drop bones every time, I'm pretty sure. And with a pretty good quantity as well. But, yeah, then there's the egg, which is just kind of like, you have to sit around waiting for a chicken to lay an egg. Like, making a cake requires a lot of just waiting in Minecraft. Like, you need to like, wait around for the egg. You need to wait around for your sugar cane to grow, so that you can get sugar. You need to wait around for your wheat to grow, so you can get wheat. It is a making cake is time-consuming unless you have, like, distinct farms for making it. And even then, it's not even something that can be, like, acquired in one farm. Like, you want bread, you just get, like, a farm full of wheat. You want, iron, you just get a farm full of iron golems. I know that there are, like, some wacky contraptions that people use, to, like, kill iron golems instantly and get, like, the iron from them. Like, they, like, spawn in lava or some crap, I don't know. But, like, that is really cool to me. I do like those sort of, like, automated item farms. I think that's cool, like, once again, how people can find ways of getting items, getting, like, infinite amounts of a certain item. But, like, unless you have, like, a sugarcane farm, a wheat farm, a chicken pen, and a cow pen, cakes are just not reliable in terms of food. You can't, because it's just, like, it requires so many ingredients, and all of them are, like, difficult to get in mass quantities. Unless you're talking about wheat, in which case, like, seeds are everywhere. Wheat is not that difficult, it just requires a little bit of patience, which is something I don't have in Minecraft, so I just would not bake cake anyway. I don't think in my entire playthrough of Minecraft I ever baked a cake, I'm gonna be honest. Because it's just, like, I don't know, it's time-consuming, and there's very little payoff. Like, I do respect Stampy Longnose for sticking to the branding all those years, but, like, it's like, yeah, whatever, he loves cake. But, like, boy, I'm sure did that get kind of annoying. Like, I feel like Stampy Longnose wouldn't be the kind of guy to get annoyed by making cake. I feel like he just, like, does it, and it's, like, a part of his life. It's, like, it's an even trade-off for him, you know? It's like, Stampy understood that cake was, like, sometimes time-consuming to make and difficult or whatever, but he thought it was worth it because he just likes eating cake in Minecraft. Also, just, like, wow, what a year this is for YouTube, man. It's, like, it's rough because MatPat and Stampy Longnose retired the same year. That one hurt me. That one hits me hard. Like, I am still trying to catch up on, like, MatPat's content. Been watching a lot of GT Live recently, just, like, reminisce on the old times, watch any series that I didn't before I say goodbye to MatPat. I haven't seen any of the new, like, theory channels. Like, I'm currently trying to watch through all the, like, final theories that he's doing, because, you know, he was, like, 10 theories remain. And I think that's a really cool way of doing it. It reminds me of, like, Majora's Mask, which in and of itself is a very MatPat thing, because obviously he had that theory back in the day that went pretty viral about, like, Majora's Mask, and how it's like about Link getting over death. It does feel like Majora's Mask, but it's like 2 days left. It's like 10 theories remain. It is ominous and it is really cool. I like the way he did it. And frankly, I wouldn't have like done it any other way if I were him, because he does just fit that sort of ominous vibe. Like I think that MatPat, just like the way that his videos are edited and some of his delivery, he just liked to instill terror in viewers. Like he always liked to make things out as if they were super scary. And in some cases they were, but in other cases he'd start the video off with some like really creepy introduction, and the video itself the subject matter wouldn't actually be that creepy. But I remember that like I used to have this friend back when I was younger. Like I used to have this friend in school, and I was like, is it just me, or does MatPat, like in the way he edits and his and like present everything, in the way he edits and talks, present everything in a creepy manner? And like he agreed that he does. I just feel like MatPat loves to horrorify things. He's like, I mean, I feel like that's a decent claim to make too, is because like he always said about like ruining childhoods since whatever the heck, ruining childhoods since like 2012 or something. I don't know when his channel started, I don't remember, but he always like said he like ruined childhoods and ruined people's favorite games. And so I feel like he likes to paint that a lot of things that he does in like a negative light. It's like the dark secret of this, or ruining your childhoods, or like Mario is the worst, he's a villain, he's a bad guy. I feel like he just likes to paint things in a negative light, which I don't really understand, especially when like his theories could be controversial already. I don't understand why he was always so, you know, like negative about things. He presented them in like he presented all these theories in like a negative manner, like the truth will scare you, you know, because then like why would people be a fan? But clearly the way he presented it worked very well, because I mean, Game Theory became such an iconic thing. MatPat's channels became so iconic, and I think that I completely understand the fact, like, I think that MatPat's retirement was like warranted. Like, I think that like any YouTuber who's been doing YouTube for like 10 years and has millions upon millions of subscribers, like there's no reason why they shouldn't retire, especially if they have a family. Like MatPat has a child to look after, and I get why he retired, but dang, it is just rough. Like, it had to happen at some point. It's like the National Dex in Pokemon. Like, it had to happen at some point. They had to get rid of National Dex at some point. Like, MatPat had to retire at some point. But we all just, like, really didn't want it to happen anytime soon. But yeah, I do think that, like, it's a great idea to sort of, like, do, like, 10 final theories on each channel. Because I think that, like, while 10 final theories on, like, game theory would have been, like, a decent way to, like, send it off, I think, like, 10 final theories on every channel is, like, a lot cooler, because it just shows, you know, that, like, all these, it's just, like, the best of all these channels. And I think that MatPat is a really, like, he was a very talented, charismatic individual. Because he even said, like, that he wouldn't wish his scheduling on anybody, and that's why he wanted to, like, make different hosts for all the theory channels. But I think it's crazy that he kept up with that many channels. Like, also just, like, film theory, okay, food theory and style theory is, like, whatever. It's, I guess that, the thing is, like, I won't say that food and style don't require research. Don't require him to do research. But, like, does fashion and food really require research like film theory and game theory do? I think film theory might be, like, the most research-intensive out of the theory channels, because it's, like, sometimes he has to just watch through entire shows. And I think that's crazy. They're like, he watches through entire shows just to make like one video on them. And like, it takes me like a year to watch through like any show. It's nuts to me that he can like post theories on multiple different TV shows and like all, because it's like, how on earth do you find the time to watch all this stuff? And I'm sure that like some other members of Team Theorists like were watching them. It's not like just him, I'm sure. But like, even still, like playing a video game is like whatever, 16-hour commitment or something like that for like average video game, unless it's like really, I guess like average 10 years ago video game, because nowadays video games only seem to be getting longer and longer with more stuff to do and more world to explore, more things to investigate or whatever. It's like, back in the day, I don't know how much content Legend of Zelda had, but now we're looking at Breath of the Wild with like 999 Korok seeds, and it's like, okay, that's just a lot of gameplay. That's just a lot of stuff to play through. It's like, yes, some games are like a huge time commitment, but I feel like usually watching an entire TV show versus playing an entire game, watching a TV show takes longer. And it also just, like, at least gaming is, like, dependent on skill, usually. It's like, you can, like, shorten the amount of time a game takes just by being good at it. Like, other people won't, while playing through Yoshi's Island DS, other people won't spend 2 hours dying on super acrobatics like I did. So that will obviously lessen the playtime a whole lot more. Yeah, can I just say, like, Yoshi's Island DS is a very difficult game. Like, I was not expecting it to be so difficult. And it's like, maybe not by, like, old game standards, but I feel like by the DS era, games were already starting to get much easier, and I feel like by those standards, by DS standards, Yoshi's Island DS was, like, really hard. And maybe I'm just, like, doing things wrong. Maybe I just wasn't playing the game correctly. I still had to finish that game. I obviously stopped at Superhero Acrobatics, which is, like, that final acrobatics level right before the castle where you fight Bowser, because spoiler alert, in that game you actually end up fighting Bowser, I think. I guess I can't really spoil you if I don't know how it ends, because I haven't finished playing the game. But what they seem to be hinting at is that we're not fighting baby Bowser in this one, we're fighting Bowser, because Bowser did some like time manipulation bullcrap and now he's here. Now he's like in the past and we're fighting him as an adult when Mario is a baby, which makes sense because we actually had baby Bowser riding around on Yoshi at one point, which was very interesting. I think that's a really cool mechanic because like you have stuff like like obviously all video game series like that have been around for a long time have to do stuff like that at some point when they have like a lot of games. Just like, yeah, villain team up is always cool. And I feel like Yoshi's Island DS especially was very cool because, like, how often do you get to team up with Bowser? Like, yeah, it's like baby Bowser, so it's not as cool, but even still, like, it is Bowser. Like, you are teaming up with Bowser. Bowser is literally riding on this Yoshi's back, and he's, like, breathing fire. So, like, I think that the fact that you could team up with frickin' Bowser, is, like, as a baby to take out adult Bowser is, like, a really cool idea. And it is like that whole Mario Partners in Time thing, but like this time, you have baby Bowser on your side, fighting Bowser. And I think that's so cool because Bowser is like the main villain, you know? Like it's not just like, oh, you get a baby version of like, I don't know, K-Mech, or whatever. It's like baby version of Bowser. Like that is like in Legend of Zelda, if Link teamed up with baby Ganondorf, like... is like, the fact that it is a baby version of the big bad, and you're trying to fight the adult version of the big bad, like the original adult, is just really cool. However, I will say that, like, last few levels were a pain in the neck, and, like, Super Acrobatics, boy was it so fun. Like, I think that, Yoshi's Island DS is one, like, toward the end of the game, Like, obviously, first few levels were not that difficult. Like, first few worlds, even, were not that difficult. But, like, towards the end of the game, it became just, like, one of those games for me where I'm enjoying myself so much because it's hard, and I'm, like, actually enjoying the difficulty of it. Like, it's challenging platforming. Like, every once in a while, like, yeah, I do play a bunch of easy games, and I don't have a problem with easy games. Obviously, that's why I have, like, X and Y so much. Like, I don't have a problem with easy games. But every once in a while, it is nice to mix it up. And especially just, like, yes, yes, it's, like, a pain in the neck in the moment to be working on a level for 2 hours, but once you do beat that level, it is, like, so... It feels so good, you know? Like, with, like, difficult games that require, like, precision and stuff like that, it feels so good once you finally beat the level. It's like, yeah, it may be really difficult to beat like, levels towards the end, but the payoff when you do makes it all worth it, especially, like, for me. For me, like, personally, it makes it all worth it. Like, playing hard games is just worth it for the payoff of beating it. But, yeah. Yoshi's Island DS. Don't be fooled by the fact that it has Yoshi on the cover and he's carrying around a baby, because it is actually quite difficult. It is quite a difficult game. Either that, or I'm dumb and stupid and bad at video games, which is probably true as well, but I think it's more so that it's a difficult game. So we're gonna send in Gerald, which I just realized as I was sending him out is only has normal type moves, which is not a good idea, which does not make this a very good switch. Carly also only has normal type moves because they are normal type. In general, we just don't have anything good to switch into this, I guess. So, yeah, Gerald is our... crap, man. Okay. I think we should just run, because, like, Nightshade is scary. Like, nothing else can do such... like, Ice Beam and... Ice Beam from the Articuno and Nightshade from the Ghastly are probably, like, the most, like, highly damaging things on this route. Because of, like, things we have to fight while grinding. And, like, Ice Beam, because, like, yes, they're underleveled compared to us, the Pokemon we're fighting, but Articuno is still an absolute powerhouse, especially with that high power stab. Like, Ice Beam is terrifying coming off of Articuno, because that is, like, 90 power. And I feel like that doesn't, like, most people don't internalize, like, what that means, but, like, 90 is quite a lot. Like, Ice Beam always surprises me with, like, I shouldn't say always surprises me, but, like, Ice Beam is, like, surprisingly good. Because, like, I just think that, like, not all types have that, where it's just a reliable 90 power move that, like, it's a reliable 90 power stab move. Like, it is just, like, that is just so good to have. If you're using a type that has that, then that's great. Like, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, those 90 power, status-inducing, 100% accuracy moves are just, like, so, like, whack. It's so hard to deal with sometimes. Like, and having that on your side is fantastic. And I did just realize that, like, that is what Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno would have. But I don't think that Moltres and Zapdos get, I don't think that Moltres gets Flamethrower and Zapdos gets Thunderbolt as early as Articuno gets Ice Beam, because I feel like every time I've run into a Moltres in the past, all it had was, like, Fire Spin, and I feel like every time I've run into a Zapdos in the past, all it had was Drill Peck. And, hey, maybe they've, like, grown in levels since then, but considerably. But, like, I am fighting a level 18 Hypno right now, so I feel like this Articuno can't be much higher than that level, and I feel like I haven't fought any Moltres and Zapdos that were much lower than that level, so I feel like Articuno is just, like, busted in moveset, in, like, learn set compared to Zapdos and Moltres in this game. And I'm sure in future games that I, like, even it out, and, like, Moltres gets Flamethrower, and Zapdos gets Thunderbolt, and Articuno gets Ice Beam all at the same level. Sure, they even it out in future games, but, like, in this game, it definitely does seem like the other two Legendary Birds are getting the short end of the stick, which is fair, because Articuno is just, like, the most broken one already, so why not make them, like, even broken. I don't know, I guess Articuno isn't the most broken one, but they feel like the most broken one. Like, am I the only one who, like, looks at the legendary birds and like, Articuno seems like the most powerful one? Like, I know that Zapdos is technically, like, the best one, because Zapdos is an electric type that's immune to ground, which is, like, wacky. Like, an electric type that is immune to ground, and flying type that is not weak to electric. Like, that is crazy. Obviously still weak to ice and rock because of the flying. But, like, I feel like Moltres has more weaknesses. I don't know if Moltres has more weaknesses. Yeah, electric... ice isn't super effective on Moltres because Moltres is fire flying. So that's super effective on flying. Not very effective on fire, so that's just neutral on Moltres. So that's... Electric is super effective on Moltres. Rock is 4 times super effective on Moltres. And I think that is it, but that is, like, which is the same amount of weaknesses as Zapdos, but one of them is a 4 times weakness, so Zapdos obviously is better in this case. And then I think that Rock is also super effective against Ice. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the other way around, but if it's not the other way around, then obviously that's another Pokemon that's weak to 2 things, and one of them is a 4 times weakness. So, Zapdos being weak to 2 things, and none of them are 4 times weakness, means that Zapdos is just all around better. And I'm inclined to believe that, because I always hear Zapdos is all around better. So I'm inclined to believe that Articuno is in fact 4 times weak to Rock. I am sending out Pokemon that cannot hit this Ghastly. It is such a pain in the neck that so many of our Pokemon only have normal type moves. And, well, I guess not only have normal type moves, but, like, Carly is just not well equipped to deal with a Ghastly, because the only move they have that isn't normal type is Poison Sting, from back when they were in Ekans. In case y'all did not know, Carly used to be in Ekans, and they evolved into a Eradicate because we have randomized evolutions. Speaking of randomized evolutions, we will be getting one of those on Psyduck at level 33, is what I found out in between episodes, because in the last episode, I said I didn't know when... let's get rid of Vigili. I said in the last episode I didn't know when Psyduck would be evolving, and frankly, I thought it would be earlier, because Psyduck just strikes me as one of those Pokemon that has, like, because with 2-stage evolution lines, they always evolve. The first one, like, the Pokemon either evolves into its 2nd stage, really, always, like, really early, or really late, and it just depends on the Pokemon, and what I found was that Psyduck is one of those that's really late. Like, in Rattata's case, it's level 18. You know, like, that's a really early one. But in Psyduck's case, it's level 33, which is a really late one. I'm sure there are even later ones in, like, Gen 5, because Gen 5 is notorious for having Pokemon that evolve really late. But that is, like, really quite disappointing, because we will get there if we continue, like, grinding up all of our Pokemon to the level that the rest of our Pokemon are. But frankly, this grinding up Kyle to like an appropriate level is, I guess, I don't know when I'm gonna stop. I guess I'll just stop at the end of this episode, whatever level they are, and we can see what happens from there. We can just sort of, like, go on with our lives, because they will not be they will not be like they're not gonna be like level 35 like everyone else is. I think that everyone else is level 35 at this point. Yeah, at least level 35. We have 1 level 35, 2 level 36, and 1 level 38, which is our starter, which makes sense if you ever played Pokemon, because the starter is always really OP. So we won't die from this, right? Yeah, starter is always, like, really OP compared to the other Pokemon, so the starter gets over leveled. Also, there is just, like, emotional attachment, so I'd imagine this is, like, that's, like, one of the reasons. I guess I'm not, like, really particularly emotionally attached to my starter here. But yeah, like, usually in a normal playthrough, the starter is, like, a really broken Pokemon when it's fully evolved, and also you have that emotional attachment to it, so it just gets used the most, and because of that, and also the fact that starters grow quickly, they level up quickly, because obviously they are meant to be raised easily, most of them. I know that some are harder to raise than others, like Professor Oak even said that, but, what was I talking about again? I don't know, let me think about it. Oh yeah, so I know that, nope, I actually said oh yeah like I got it, but I didn't actually get it. something about starters, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something about starters, and then it changed it to something else, and then all I remember is that it was something about starters, but I can't remember what I changed it to. Actually, I think it was something, and then I changed it into about starters, but I can't remember the original idea. What was I originally talking about, though? Thinking noise, I always make noise. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to, like, find any past thing to, like, grapple onto, any, like, past jumping off point that I took, like, go back to it and, like, expand upon it, but I got nothing. Just, like, did a bunch of talking, and I wasn't really keeping track of what I was talking about, so now I don't really have anything to jump back to. I mean, Yoshi's Island! That was quite a while ago, but I guess I could talk more about that. I do, Yoshi's Island DS is not, like, the first Yoshi game I played. I did also play, Yoshi's Woolly World. Yoshi's Woolly World was the first one. From there, I also bought New Yoshi's Island on my 3DS back in the day. And I did not actually get Yoshi's Island DS on my 3DS. Obviously 3DSs can play DS games, so I could have. But back when I had my 3DS, I didn't really, like, I didn't really take much advantage of the fact that, like, 3DSs can play DS games, because in my mind I was just like, oh yeah, the game was made earlier, so it's worse. Like, more recent games are better, which is not the case at all, actually. A lot of old games are really good. Like, for example, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, which I have been playing recently. I obviously haven't played it, like, that recently, because I just recently, like, according to Steam, 100%ed it, so I sort of stopped playing it, but I had been playing it recently. And, boy am I so glad that game got a remake. I've been playing the remake, just to be clear. And I would kind of like to see, like, the original game, just for comparison, but I don't want to really play through all that again. Especially on just, like, something that is just straight up, especially just, like, a straight up inferior version. Like, I feel like that is the roughest thing. Like, when a remake of a game comes out, I'm kind of tempted to play the original and then the remake. Like, I feel like if I play the remake first, I'm just not gonna want to go back to the original. I'm not gonna, like, want to see the original for the first time. I'm not gonna want to play the original if I've never played it before, and I've only played the remake, you know? It's just that kind of thing. But I would definitely like to, in the future, check out the original, just to see, like, the differences. I don't imagine I'd, like, actually play through it, obviously, because that's just, like, it's just, like, you know, playing the old inferior version, but, I'm willing to take a peek, at least, at some point. But, yeah, like, SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom. Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, obviously, is, like, when I first saw it coming out, I was in the mindset, I was like, why is this a thing? Because I was, like, under the mindset of, like, oh, yeah, movie games and TV show games are bad. And yeah, that usually is the case. Play, like, Monsters vs. Aliens, or, like, the Monsters vs. Alien game, or the Lego Movie the game, or Feeding Frenzy Ratatouille, or some crap like that. Olaf's Frozen Adventure. Honestly, like, please play that. Guys, boy do I have a game to recommend to you. I've never actually played through it myself, but I've seen my brother playing it, and, wow, is that a game. Wow, does that look fantastic. I might play that on the channel at some point. It is a 3DS game, so I'd have to, like, not anytime soon, because, like I said, I don't know how, like, 3DS emulators work. Oh, if I say emulators, I mean I don't have a 3DS! Yes, of course, because who would use emulators? Nintendo, don't sue me. Sue me? I don't know how they would do that, but, is that, like, the proper terminology? Can people sue you for using emulators? I don't know. Whatever. Forget I said anything about emulators. I would never talk about emulators. I would never talk about something that is so, like, absolutely, wrong to do. Totally playing this on my perfectly authentic Game Boy, and recording it with a perfectly authentic capture card. But, is that even a thing? Like, guess, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to record things. I'm just gonna, I know how to pretend. I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to record things on actual console, or actual handhelds. However, I will say this, I'm definitely recording this on an actual, I'm definitely recording this on an actual handheld. But, yeah, just like, what was I talking about before SpongeBob? I was talking about Yoshi's Island. Yeah, like, I didn't really take advantage of the DS, the feature to play DS games on the 3DS at the time, because, when I had the 3DS, because I was just like, older games are worse, but, like, I think that, but, like, once my brother, got the 3DS handed down to him, he ended up, he was like, oh, what game should I play? And I ended up looking into it, because he already had, like, a lot of 3DS games. So I was looking into 3DS games that he had, like, I was looking into 3DS games that he could get. And I found that I'd already bought, like, a lot of the good ones, so he already sort of had a lot of the good ones, so he's like, what should I get? And then I came across the idea of, like, hey, you can play DS games on that thing, because the only DS game I had on that thing at the time was Hot Wheels Beat That, which had been given to me with the 3DS when it had been handed down to me by a family friend. In case you've never seen that game, I remember it being very fun, surprisingly. But hey, maybe that's just like nostalgia. Definitely, I think that like the title's funny, like the Hot Wheels Beat That. It's like a challenge. The title is challenging you. I think that's funny. I don't know like how many Hot Wheels games there are, but I definitely enjoyed that like so much more than I have ever enjoyed any Mario Kart. Which is funny because I'm a Nintendo guy. But I have like such fond memories of playing this freaking Hot Wheels game on my 3DS. And obviously it wasn't like graphically good or anything because it was a DS game, but it wasn't like graphically bad. Like, I feel like if it was graphically bad, I would have noticed because it's like, I was such a stickler for graphics back when I was a kid. Like, I could just tell that a game was old, and if a game was old, if I could tell that it was old by the graphics, then I just didn't want to play it. But like, here I am, nowadays, playing Pokemon Red, but, graphically not that bad. Pokemon Red has some charm to it graphically, but, wouldn't call it bad graphics, just mildly primitive graphics. But yeah, like, I'd imagine, I don't remember it looking particularly bad, otherwise I feel like I wouldn't have played it. But in general, just doesn't look bad, which is, not like it's like, first of all, it is not only an accomplishment back when this thing must have been made, but also just an accomplishment but like even more of an accomplishment on the DS. Because let's be honest, everything looks bad on the DS, unless it was made specifically for the DS, and even then it looks most things look pretty bad. Most things that were made for the DS look pretty bad on the DS. So, yeah, I genuinely think that I had, like, more fun with that than I have ever had with any Mario Kart game. Like, Mario Kart games are just the kinds of things that I, like, pick up and play every once in a while, but I've never been, like, terribly dedicated to. Like, I just think that they're, like, okay. In general, I just am not a fan of driving games. I feel like they're like, really boring. And I don't know why, like, I mean, I can drive in real life, so, like, why would I do it in a video game? It's like, oh, yeah. As if driving isn't hard enough in real life, now I have to do it while avoiding turtle shells coming at me. It's like, you'd think it would be difficult, but in actuality, I don't actually care about my placing because, if you're not first, you're last, and usually I'm first because I play on the easiest difficulty. So then it just kind of gets boring because I'm playing on the easiest difficulty because I don't want to lose, but then I'm getting bored because I'm not losing. But if I turn up the difficulty, then I start losing, like, really badly, and so I'm like, this game is unfair, so then I don't want to play it. So either way, if I'm succeeding a lot, then I don't want to play it because it's boring. If I'm not succeeding, then I don't want to play it because it's hard. So either way, Mario Kart just doesn't really appeal to me all that much. Obviously have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on my Switch. Don't plan on getting the DLC, ever. because, like I said, Mario Kart, just like a thing that I sort of pick up every once in a while when I don't have anything better to do. So, it's like, I'm good just replaying all those same levels over and over again. I don't need new levels. The levels that they have given me, base game, are fine, because really I'm not looking for amazing level design. I'm not looking to be surprised with new levels. I just wanna... I'm not looking for the game to actually have substance to it. I'm just looking for the game to fill that itch, like scratch that itch of I have something to do. I need something to do with my hands. But yeah, just like Yoshi's Island DS was something that I recommended to my brother because I saw it and I'm like, this looks really cool. And I kind of wanted to play it myself, but at that point I didn't have a DS. So now I'm here with my perfectly legitimate DS on my computer, playing through Yoshi's Island DS, and I really do think that it is, like, very good. Like, I did have New Yoshi's Island, obviously, as I said, on my 3DS, and, like, that was such an okay game. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, maybe if I played it more recently, then I'd have more to say about it. Like, I'd have actual, like, critiques and, like, actual things that I liked about it, but I played it so long ago that I guess, like, I can't think of anything interesting about the game. And, I mean, you could just attribute that to it being a long time ago, but I'm going to attribute that as well to the fact that it was boring and nothing stuck with me. Because at least, I would have at least been able to remember something, if any of it was interesting, surely. But yeah, like, I definitely remember big parts of Yoshi's Woolly World, and Yoshi's Woolly World was way earlier. So, I played Yoshi's Woolly World way earlier than I played Yoshi's New Island. I don't know which one came out first. I'd imagine Yoshi's New Island came out first, because I feel like it's weird that they would go away, that they would start this, like, wool branding, and then stop the wool branding, and then for Yoshi's New Island, and then go back to it with Yoshi's Crafted World. Like, I feel like the wool branding must have started, like, after... I feel like Yoshi's New Island must have been, like, the last one that was, like, not Yoshi made out of wool and just regular old Yoshi. But, yeah, I don't remember anything, like, being interesting about it. Meanwhile, I remember a ton of things about Yoshi's Woolly World, even though I played that first. So, I imagine that it was just unremarkable. And, like, Yoshi's Woolly World, I really do love. Like, I'd love to go back to that game at some point, because that would be such a nostalgia trip for me. Like, I don't think any other game would scratch my nostalgia itch more than Yoshi's Woolly World. There are some games that might, like Super Mario 3D Land might be another one. Like, maybe New Super Mario Bros. 2. Like, a lot of 3DS era stuff, because that was my first gaming device. That was, like, when that was handed down to me by a family friend, and I just, like... I always used to play video games at his house, but I never had a device of my own, and then I got a 3DS from him, and it's just, like... Then I just started getting into gaming, and years passed, and here we are now. But yeah, like, that is... Just, like, 3DS games were, like, the first ones I played. Like, some of the first video games I played. So, obviously I have, like, a lot of emotional attachment to a bunch of 3DS games. And while also having not finished most of them. Because, like I said, I used to be very bad at finishing games, like, even worse than I am now. I switched to something that cannot hit this ghastly again. Gotta stop doing that. But, yeah, I guess I'll wrap up this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching, Eevee Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is Alex Espion, signing off.